Hello and welcome to JomezPro's coverage of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We are at Discraft's Green Mountain Championship from the beautiful Smugglers Notch Resort outside Jeffersonville, Vermont. Nate Sexton, Jeremy Koling, together, we make Big Sexy.
We sure do, Nate, and we are back into the woods at Brewster Ridge, where it is very heavily wooded, but the wind is still coming through these woods almost as much as it was in round 2 at Fox Run. We have a very windy day. The temperature is perfect, but it is going to be really difficult going through these woods in these conditions.
We got Paul in the lead at 15, Chris in second at minus 14. Look at Paul with that 100% Circle 1X. Simon in third after the nice second round at minus 13.
Nikko Locastro jumping up to the card, wearing the little beanie there.
Uh-oh.
There it is.
James Conrad move over.
Big time second round in the wind. Nikko Locastro, obviously one of the workhorses on the disc golf tour for so many years. It's good to see him back on the lead card, and here we go. We're off.
Hole 1, par 3, 315. You've heard us talk about it, just barely breaking to the right. Players want to throw as straight as possible here with just that tiny bit of fade, if anything. Backhand putter, forehand driver, it all works. You just got to hit your gap.
First in the box, our current leader with 111 pro wins to his career, 5-time and current world champion. Let's give it up for Paul McBeth.
Paul going to go with that backhand mid-range here.
Try to make the adjustment from round 1 where we saw McBeth miss the starting hole, and he's going to be just outside Circle 1. Not as good as he'd like. Again, he's got even maybe a tougher putt than he had during round 1.
Yeah, that tree might come into play.
Call by just one from Limestone, Tennessee, Chris Dickerson.
And just when things were kind of looking like they were getting out of control in round 2 at Fox Run, Chris Dickerson was able to make a big close in on McBeth in the last couple of holes and took a 4-stroke lead to 1 stroke on just the last hole alone, but that is connected in the left side tree. Chris will have to get up and down for his par.
Germany, trailing Chris by just one. Let's hear it for Simon Lizotte.
And I heard that was going to be your signature shirt from Savage, but you decided maybe it fit Simon just a little bit better than you.
Yeah, I like that Sky God logo. I tried to just grab it, but I don't know. As you might expect, he got kind of weird about it.
Simon just throwing beautiful flex sidearm. Excuse me, forehand.
Thank you, and very nice forehand at that. And Nikko with a tasteful sweater here.
He looks like he's ready for Vermont weather. That is for sure. Of the card, no one looks more ready for winter or fall in Vermont than this guy right here. You've been wearing khakis.
Yeah, I mean, just a little early. And we dog Nikko a little bit, but honestly, I love the style. You know, like he does things a little different. You know, he looks like he could be playing a coffee shop gig after this. But
that's funny.
But I mean, he looks good.
No,
I don't mean it to come across like I don't like what he's doing. He's definitely he's dressed to impress.
His style is always one of a kind, and it has nothing to do with disc golf, but it's certainly something interesting to talk about.
51-footer here for Nikko after he bounces out of the woods. Oh boy,
and that flew about 41 feet, but slid up to the pin.
First putt of the day problems.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Good putt right underneath that this hanging out limb there. You can see the low ceiling come into play right there. No problem for Paul. Perfect execution.
You know, and on a wooded course, you see Paul going power colors. You see Chris going seasonally appropriate camo for that fall season.
Right.
You know, that's, you know, Simon's going high vis safety gear. And it's kind of, you know, it's contrasting styles, and they're going to be in the woods. The cameras are on them. See how it plays out.
I think it's all appropriate for their personalities.
Hole 2, par 4, 550, going straight up the middle, uphill, and then the fairway has that slight jog to the right and then straightens out again, so it makes it very difficult. You got to find that perfect landing zone. This short tee pad is ideal, even a little right of it better, but you've got that OB line on the ancient stone wall all the way down the right side, so any kick can be a disaster here.
That's looking really nice. Maybe a counter skip here. Actually, no. Big skip off to the left. That's going to make things really tricky. As you can see, that wall of trees is going to provide a very difficult bunker for Paul's second. And this is heading towards a similar spot, but actually maybe even better than Paul's because he has a little bit further back angle.
Yeah, a little shorter will help.
Could potentially flex a sidearm. Any of these get that counter flare? Nope, that didn't get the counter flare either. But again, I think it's a better angle than Paul's. Nikko, maybe. Yeah, there's the adjustment right there.
Yeah, it's still fading, though. I'm going to put my rep on the line again. I like it when he proves me wrong. There is no way McBeth birdies from there.
I don't think any of these guys are really in a good position to birdie, but I've been proven wrong so many times that I try not to make any sort of bold statements like that anymore. Simon really the best he could do from there, not really going for a big shot, just trying to get around the corner. So many roots out here. The ground play can be so inconsistent. That was a good shot. He'll still have a good putt, maybe 45 feet. It looked like it could have made its way into the circle, though.
And Nikko's definitely got a chance here. You can see that focus on his face.
Oh, yeah. This is looking beautiful. Yeah.
Fantastic shot.
Yes.
Chris and Nikko both in there with a chance. And Paul's going to get creative here. Going to the knee. Must have a little small gap through the back.
Oh, my goodness. Look at this tight. Okay, he's going the hyzer. Oh, and that was working well, but catching one of those last trees. Your reputation's on the line as Paul has a putt. How many times has your reputation just gone down the drink?
It's actually never gone down.
It's never gone down.
But it could now.
How can you be so consistent from, I mean, yeah, he missed the putt, but that, from 90 feet every time hitting metal.
Well, it's not every time, but it can feel
It's
that way.
every
I know
time.
Jerm is still a bit traumatized. Honestly, happy to have him back today after what he went through yesterday at the, Paul just being absolutely brutal to Jerm.
It wasn't nice.
And, he gets up, he fights again. I don't think he hits the basket every time, but he is a great putter.
Yes.
I'll settle on that. He's a great putter, and Nikko has made a great birdie there.
Yeah,
that was a fantastic forehand flex and a nice putt to cap it off.
Definitely a good bounce back from the low putt, the nervy putt on hole 1. And birdie's the hardest hole in the course, averaging over half a stroke above par. Just this hole was just brutalizing people. And guess what? There weren't any twos today. Can you believe it? Yes. Shout out once again to Brian Earhart with a huge throw-in 2 in round 1. I mean, that's never been done before in that hole.
Hole 3, par 3, 325, elevated basket, elevated fairway. You're going uphill, kind of blind the whole way. You just kind of sight that big tree, throw your mid-range, try to get up there as a right-hander. A little tougher for the lefty that needs to play a little bit of a turnover, maybe flex back. But I think these guys are going to go mid-range. This is maybe... No, I think it's a mid.
Whatever it is, must be an overstaple mid. As you know, Nikko loves to throw those flex shots, putting a lot of forced turn on them and letting them fly straight and just getting a little fade at the end. Good result for Nikko, 22 feet away.
Paul using all the fairway, getting out there on the right side, swinging back.
Yeah.
That'll elicit a couple woos from the gallery.
And probably a few from home.
Yeah, Huntington Beach.
Well, I'm saying just people watching this. I mean, people outside Huntington Beach watch Jomez. Believe it
And
or not.
root for Paul.
And root for Paul, yeah. Now that I haven't seen before.
That
I
was
have
cool.
not seen anyone land inside the rocks. That's incredible. I'm sure that garnered some woos from Bremen, Germany. If this just holds straight the whole way, this will be an ace run, but just going to fade off a little bit. Looking like we might have a star frame on the easiest hole in the course. And Robot Chicken able to collect his first birdie of the round.
When you're the easiest hole on any given course and you see this group coming up, it's going to be a bad day for you. Because these guys are just going to gobble that up. It's going to be star frame every time.
Yeah. It's not like when you're a basket, you can just run and hide.
No.
These guys are coming in strong. And guess what? Edge, you're about to get $25 more right there, buddy. There's a star frame.
Good star frame from the group. Hole 4, par 4, 575. Very, very beautiful hole in my opinion. You got to go between these big trees, or you can play a forehand flex around the right side. You'd like to land in the middle of this right side fairway to set up the straight shot into the pin. We've seen some people get creative as they get off the fairway here, as it's very common to do because all those tiny trees are so thick, and even 5 feet off the fairway might force you into a roller or some kind of pitch out. So we'll see if these guys can play that speed control game. It's not really a time to go big here. As we see
Nikko
a
lining up
ripping roller.
the biggest possible shot.
Yeah, I
with
don't,
the best
I don't know.
possible
I mean,
result.
certainly that could work.
Yeah.
But man, I just have a hard time imagining the roller coming to rest anywhere but in the trees.
Yeah, in a good spot. It's
Oh, come on now.
yeah, that's incredible.
When you're hot, you're hot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great kick. That was heading for a tough lie, and now it's pretty close to ideal.
Mm-hmm. And this play can be tough if you don't push that left side all the way, and Simon has done a great job of doing that.
Ooh.
Unfortunate root play, and there's roots and rocks and all sorts of things in the fairway that can give you bad kicks, but that's still in the straight zone, and I think he'll have a pretty decent access for his second shot. And I like this play from Chris. He's not going big. I think that could even be a putter, probably a mid-range, but just playing it into that spot. You don't necessarily need a ton of distance to be able to throw a good, clean second.
Oh, and we're going to see it again. This has got to fight.
Oh, gosh.
He's
so
almost
hard.
through.
Yeah.
So I think he might be able to get up to a putt.
Simon playing a par 4 sidearm to sidearm. I don't know if I've seen that before off the tee.
That one's low.
Mm-hmm. But so far, he's impressed me pretty good with his forehand. I mean, he has the goods when it comes to it. Don't see him go to it as often, obviously, as other players. But
Yeah.
he's got all the ability.
Oh, man. Bad kick there. Little left, but inside circle too.
If you're not tight right on approaching the green on this hole, there's just so many things on that left side. As you can see, Paul's forcing over to that right side, giving himself an open look.
Well done.
And that's taking advantage of a great kick.
Oh my God, get up there anyway.
He didn't like it, but it's not bad. It's a lot of power.
I think what he did was, I think he struck a tree in his backswing.
Oh.
And I think that I heard a sound, and I think that might have been what it was, and he might have lost control of his grip.
Well, if that is the case,
Excellent result.
yeah, excellent commentary by you and excellent result for him. Oh, I like the look of that.
Mm-hmm. Good angle out of his hand. Nikko unable to save the par. Paul picking up the bogey, and he's 3 under.
Birdie is the word.
And, yeah, getting a little separation from the card right now.
Thank you again to Discraft for their support of the tournament and our coverage here at JomezPro. Hole 5, par 3, 285. Straight ahead and then downhill to the right. OB rock wall down the entire left side. So again, you got to watch those tree kicks. If you're going with the turnover backhand especially, you're in danger of bouncing left and going over that wall. We saw Paul go with the mid-range forehand. And a driver forehand is also a good play here. You have a pretty good backstop and you have a lot of bark chips to slow you down.
Last time we saw McBeth throw this hole, we got a FollowFlight.
Whoa.
This time we have a good kick to save the out-of-bounds stroke.
Yeah, that could have easily gone out of bounds.
And I imagine he'll be throwing that disc again down the hill. Maybe a backhand turnover putter. Simon again. Look at these little flex lines. That's an unfortunate break. That tree catches so many shots that get around the corner that you think are going to be home free.
Mm-hmm.
You got to push that back edge of the fairway and have it fade down the hill late to really avoid that one.
Ooh, this needs some luck. Uh-oh.
That's the opposite of luck.
Really bad. There's that kick we're talking about. Just like I said, that Anheuser backhand, much more susceptible with the clockwise spin.
Yeah, one of the reasons I wouldn't be going with the backhand turnover, but I don't like it for that reason, because when it hits trees, it really does want to skip OB. Nikko Locastro just almost aces it.
Wow, great shot. And sits down right there.
That's the double duty right there, getting the ace run and the park job.
Mm-hmm. Paul going to clean up a par. Well done.
Tough kick OB for Chris. If he doesn't make this will be a bogey. And there's, again, a little bit more separation, as Paul's going to be under the basket for the par. And
Simon has this for birdie, though.
yeah, he sure does.
Good run.
As he casually leans on the birch.
Great birdie from Nikko. I played with Simon in round 2, and he had about a 90-foot putt wide open. And he putts it, and it was kind of short and left and never really had a chance. And he was just like, what is that? What is that? How do you practice for 20 years and then do that? I thought it was pretty funny. He's always got a funny thing to say.
Oh, yeah, he really does. He's the kind of player that when he's not playing his best, his attitude doesn't affect the group, and it's really funny at the same time. Like, he'll say some things that no one else thinks of.
Yeah.
Ways to be self-deprecating in that way.
Yeah. Hole 6, par 3, 365. This one you're going with the mid-range or putter. Nice flat shot out of the hand or slight hyzer, and then just trying to get that slow drift down the hill. It's going to be tough. It's not, some people think about a forehand turnover or maybe as a left-hander, but it's just going to glide on you. So I think all these guys are going to go, ooh, this might be too inside, but it might be perfectly straight.
Yeah,
actually, that's such a good shot because he went inside, but he threw so flippy that it ends up working just perfectly. I'm sure that's how he planned it. He's throwing that very, very flippy putter.
Yeah, Nikko always been a master of different angles. Always those really interesting lines that I don't think of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always interesting to watch that.
That's another tasty kick.
Yeah, Paul with the Luna. Fortuitous kick forward to right about the circle's edge.
Still might have been circle's edge, but from a different angle. He'll be happy either way.
And this is high, but drifting nicely now. Could be fading a little bit too much, but he as well is right around that circle's edge putting range.
This feels too tight to me.
And not getting the same flip up that Nikko had, but look at that. The result is still the same as everyone. We've got 4 birdie looks on this hole. This one a bit further than Simon's, probably about 45 feet. Count it.
Ooh, nice putt. Let's see that one more time. The limestone laser.
Where did that come from?
My dome.
All right.
Isn't he from Limestone, Tennessee?
Oh, okay. Goodness. Good call. He sure is. Simon,
You thought I was just pulling a random rock.
the Lizotte laser over the top of the basket. Paul's going to make this putt.
Oh, bold. Bold.
I'm
Nice birdie.
I'm just going to tell you, I haven't seen him miss a putt in 6 years, and that was not going to be the first time.
Again, I got to tell you, he has been missing a few putts. I think you're not quite living in, the real world at this point.
He has not no, it was something else's fault. He hasn't missed a putt. The world rotated faster.
I see.
And Nikko just over the rim, and beautiful birdies for Chris and Paul and Nikko as well.
Hole 7, 665 par 4. This one is a straight tunnel shot to start, and then it goes uphill to the left. You'd like to get as far up this fairway as possible, either hitting this gap where the drone is flying or going around those last 3 trees and finding your way up the gravel road. Probably about a 400-foot drive is all you need here. You don't need to go huge, but you need to throw a nice, powerful wood shot to be in position for birdie.
Yeah, this drive is so important to set yourself up. A bad drive can put you in instant bogey position.
Overstable flex line.
And Nikko might be playing for that inside line, which is not quite as clean for the approach as if you go that long straight line. But he's still in position to get the birdie. Paul, that's the long straight line. And if this doesn't go too far, which of course it doesn't,
Fantastic.
right by that short box. That's a beautiful place to be. Oh, goodness. What did that hit? I was going to get a pretty good skip. And now he's in position to probably take par. I don't see a shot from there with all the trees and all the distance in the way getting up to the green, but Chris Dickerson, obviously a better player than myself, so he could surprise me.
Wow. You see what I see?
No aces allowed, forehand roller. And that was not an intentional. Look at this. Look at this, folks. Oh, it looked like it was going to keep rolling. At first, I thought it might have been a misthrown tomahawk, but no, it's just a forehand roller.
It felt like a forehand roller the whole way to me, I got to be honest. Nikko takes a kick. He's going to be outside circle 2, I think. And you start to hear that wind. It was really swirly. You're in the trees. You're somewhat protected. But it's hard to ignore when the trees are like swaying all around and you're hearing all that noise. You just can't. It's so hard to predict. Is this just going to lift or bounce or flip or what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Great shot from Simon.
Sure was. Paul just sneaking around, and that is on the wood chips. Look at this right now. He's about to go to 5 under through 7 holes. He's already got the 4-stroke separation from the card.
Mm-hmm.
Simon's got a birdie himself here, and Chris.
Oh, close.
He's going to drop to 5 back.
Didn't quite get the height on it.
And this wind really was constantly present the entire round. Good putt from Chris. Some places you just couldn't hear it so much, or you didn't see it so much with the trees, but that breeze is coming up the fairway or to the side or from behind you at all times. Sometimes it wasn't, like I said, you just didn't quite see it in the leaves. So you might not see it at home, but it was constantly present the whole round. And just playing through the woods in the wind is one of the most difficult things that you can do as a disc golfer.
Also, one of the most difficult things you could do, play hole 8 at Brewster Ridge.
I agree with
It's
that.
not easy. Hole 8, par 4, 610, uphill the whole way. Trees kind of in the middle that make that drive so demanding. You'd like to get through nice and low and break a little bit left to set up probably a 350-foot uphill tunnel shot to try to get up here to the green. They've done a great job kind of clearing the fairway since we first played this at the Worlds. The hole's looking better and better. I really like the hole.
Yeah.
But it's very, very demanding.
I was about to say the same thing. It's just they did so much work on this hole. I feel like it was a little rough in the 2018 World Championships, but they still did a great job getting the hole in the ground. The design is incredible. It's just such a difficult challenge, tee to green. And Paul executes the tee shot perfectly once again, right in the middle.
Simon needs some fade. Doesn't get it. Bad kick. He's going to likely almost just have a pitch out from there. I don't think he's going to be able to advance much.
Yeah, he's in Alcatraz right now.
And this is just a tailor-made for that Nikko force-over.
Yeah, it is. Oh, such a great shot.
Nobody does it. I mean, we've said it so
Yeah.
many times, but man, if I could steal a shot from that guy, that shot is so valuable.
I mean, he's just committing so much. He's like really leaning back and ripping on it. And like, I don't think I've ever committed to one shot as much as he does every time he throws that shot.
Yeah, and Chris kind of does it, but that's how it happens for most players. You're going to be nose up. As you throw that forced ante, it kind of rises. It's sort of lazy coming in. Nikko has this uncanny ability to really penetrate the shot low.
And Chris, maybe a little bit too understable. Wow. Whoa. Incredible result.
Yeah.
All the way up there in the putting range.
And Simon might be able to get up the fairway. He's got a driver in his hand. Yeah, that's very good.
Yep, just wanted to be in the middle there. And still quite a few trees to contend with on the approach, but he's in a good spot to probably pick up his par. Paul's in a position to potentially give himself another stroke if he can execute this. He's going to be out there by Chris.
Long look.
A little putting competition between the two of them. Nikko after that perfect drive, not the perfect approach that he needed. And right there, that's a perfect example of how a perfect drive like Nikko's still is only in position to put you in a really difficult approach opportunity to give yourself a look for the birdie.
Simon catches that last tree, but he should be in range to collect his par.
Nikko's really good at that putter run shot from about 100 feet. We've given a lot of credit to Greg Barsby for doing that so well in the past, but Nikko's another player that has made a lot of those little throw-ins, spin putts.
Ooh, Heiser putt just sails past the basket. I think Nikko has a similar style on that shot to Avery Jenkins, kind of that nose-up bouncer, so he could really run it without a lot of penalty because he doesn't go past very much.
Yes.
And yeah, uphill jumper.
Chris Dickerson, really out of position, I'd say, off the tee shot.
Yeah.
Huge second shot, missing all the trees in a gigantic skip forward and picks up the putt. That's huge because I felt like we were getting right to that point where Paul McBeth really lays down the hammer on the field. And it's just kind of like a see you later. It was fun playing with you guys for a little while kind of mode.
Yeah.
As he's just been falling into that so often this season.
Par for Paul.
You didn't just call him Par McBeth again, did you?
That was never me.
Par McBeth. Just what a brutal nickname that you've come up with for him.
Hello, everybody. Let's look at our UDisc leaderboard. Paul McBeth, as you know, -5, -20 total. Simon Lizotte and myself in second place at -16, along with Chris Dickerson.
Look at you go.
There's a lot of hot scores, but only Garrett matching Paul so far, and matching Paul is not going to be enough. These guys are going to have to make a big move.
Yeah, his separation he's creating is really giving him a lot of breathing room going into these last 27 holes.
Hole 9, par 3, 370, downhill. There's that little false front to the green that's kind of nice. If you're coming in with the mid-range or driver, you can kind of take your little skip slow down. That's the best way to play this hole, and hop over that ridge, slide up to the pin. If you clear that in the air, like we've been saying, you're probably going to be considerably deep in the basket. As you can see, it just sort of keeps sloping away. Drone is kicking up dust.
Yeah,
up
that was
there.
cool. I think that's not a bad play, though, honestly. If you're going to come up 30 feet short or 50 feet long, I think I'd rather be 50 feet long.
Sure.
And Chris Dickerson's not interested in either one of those.
What a shot.
Yeah, straight down the middle the whole way. A little bit of a straight skip, and he is inside 25 feet.
Put a little pressure on Paul here.
Yeah, pressure on Paul, please. Come on, look at this. This guy does not feel pressure. All he feels is he's got a 32-foot putt coming up.
Perfect shot from Simon.
Wow.
MD3, I think, and we're going to see that one more time. These are fantastic. I mean, this hole is very narrow.
Mm-hmm. And very specific on what kind of disc and what angle you could throw it on.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that direct flight the whole way. Well done, Simon.
I'm curious as to what this disc is that Nikko's throwing. I think it might be a fairway.
That was a really, really good kick. If that goes left, you really no chance of saving your par.
Yeah, this isn't bad. Wow.
Oh, and off the
my
game.
gosh. Right on cue. As soon as we talk about that incredible approach game, nearly throws it in.
And he's going to make this, just so you know.
Beautiful putt from Paul.
The world rotating at the exact speed that Paul predicted once again.
That's a great 6 down front nine.
It sure is. There's some difficult holes. There's the first, the fourth, and the fifth hardest hole in the front nine. There's a lot of challenging places. Only a few holes even averaging below par. 6 of them exact for Paul.
Look at that. 3 birdies on the card pending Simon's tap in.
And
Nikko almost did it too. That's really, really well played.
Yeah, that's a rare sight. Great score for the card. 3 under. You're not seeing that very often.
Thank you guys again for tuning in. We got the beautiful views of the time lapse out there at Fox Run. We are going to be right back with the back nine from Brewster Ridge. Paul McBeth charging, but these guys are not going to give up ground if they can help it. There's a lot more birdies to be had. As long as Paul doesn't get all of them, these guys got a chance.
Big Sexy. Out.